Welcome to Alpha Insights. I'm Dakota. Today we've got Aiden with us to walk through a couple of headlines shaking up the cannabis sector this morning. Remember, if you have questions as we go, you can ask us at stockalpha.ai.
Thanks for having me, Dakota. Two short, contrasting stories landed today. One is a marketing push around a niche cannabinoid, and the other is fresh state sales data from Michigan that looks a bit mixed. Together, they tell a story of selective opportunities rather than a broad sector breakout.
The real question here is, what is this niche cannabinoid and why are people talking about it?
That cannabinoid is THCV. It's a minor compound in the cannabis plant that some companies are positioning as having distinct effects compared with the more familiar compounds. Right now, it's more of a branding and differentiation play. Companies use THCV to stand out on shelves and in marketing.
And I heard there's a celebrity endorsement tied to that. Does that move the needle?
Active brand THCV signed up Randy Couture, the MMA champion, as an endorser. From a marketing angle, that raises mainstream visibility. Athleticism and discipline are clean messages. But honestly, I was a bit surprised by this one. A celebrity tie-in can accelerate consumer trial, sure, but conversion into sustained sales is far from guaranteed.
Okay, pivoting to the other story. Michigan released February sales figures that give a different signal. The state reported $234,600,000 in retail sales for the month, which is up about 3.5% from January, but down about 3% compared with the same month last year.
The striking detail is medical channel weakness. Medical sales plunged by about 38.5% year over year to roughly $400,000, and they fell about 4% month to month. That divergence between adult use volume and medical collapse is important. When you look at the data, the sequential uptick suggests some short-term stabilization, maybe seasonality or restocking. But the year-over-year slip and the collapse in medical sales point to structural shifts, like patients moving into adult use channels or pricing and competition pressures at the local level.
Right.
From an investor lens, the takeaway is nuanced. The endorsement is a marketing catalyst that can boost brand awareness for THCV products, while the Michigan numbers remind us demand is patchy and local. Analysts note you should watch distribution. Are these THCV products actually appearing on retail shelves and in significant stores? Because awareness without placement often fizzles.
What are the concrete things listeners should track next week or next month to separate noise from a real trend?
Track a few things. First, press schedules and retail listings for THCV product rollouts. Increased distribution to major chains or big state markets can show up in reported revenue after a quarter or two. Second, keep an eye on state sales releases. March and April figures from Michigan and other big states will tell you if that sequential bounce holds. Third, watch flows into the sector ETF. The advisor shares Pure U.S. Cannabis ETF, and how big public operators like Trulieve, Green Thumb Industries, Curaleaf, and Tilray are trading, because ETF flows often precede wider moves in single names. And finally, regulatory and tax changes at the state level. Those can change margins quickly.
Interesting.
Risks to monitor include execution on new product launches, pricing competition, inventory and supply chain pressure, and uneven geographic recoveries. Analysts point out that branded plays need measurable retail placements and improving margins to justify optimism. Otherwise, it looks like marketing noise.
Quick pause for the legal note. We don't give financial advice on this show. What we share are observations and market signals. We won't tell you to buy, sell, or hold anything. Use this information as part of your own research or with a professional advisor.
Bottom line from me, neutral near term. The endorsement could accelerate awareness for THCV, but conversion to sustained sales is uncertain. Michigan's data shows some month-to-month recovery, but year-over-year softness and a steep medical decline. So the market is signaling selective opportunities rather than a broad rebound. Analysts suggest focusing on companies that can prove retail traction or margin improvement.
Got it. Can you give our listeners 2 or 3 quick takeaways to finish?
Sure. 1. Celebrity endorsements like Randy Couture's can speed awareness, but watch actual retail distribution and sales to see if that awareness translates into revenue. 2. Michigan's numbers show modest sequential recovery, about 3.5% month to month, but a year-over-year decline of about 3% and a big fall in medical sales, so local trends matter. 3. Follow fund flows into the sector ETF and monitor results from major operators like TrueLeave, Green Thumb, Curaleaf, and Tilray for broader sentiment signals.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Aiden. That clears up a lot.
Thanks, Dakota. Always good to take a step back and piece the signals together.
All right, listeners. If you have questions about anything we discussed today, you can ask us directly at stockalpha.ai. We answer listener questions live. And for more market insights, head over to stockalpha.ai. This is Dakota and Aiden on Alpha Insights. Thanks for listening.